Kuzumbo. Today in this video I'll solve trial exam paper 2025 of Changangkha Middle Secondary School. Let's begin with the last question number 7. Let's read the question first. Here in question number 7, which is a 10-mark question, you are asked to design a school mess management program that keeps record of all items in the mess. Write a Python code using the function. So here the name of the function should be mess system. The function must incorporate following operations. So all these operations which I mentioned here, we have to incorporate in the code. So first of all, let's create a function, and as usual we create a function using the keyword def. So def is to create function, and the name of the function should be the mess system. So we'll write mess system, and this function is not going to take any parameter as mentioned here. If later needed, maybe we'll put some parameter in between, but for now looks like it will not take any parameter. So with that we are done creating the function. So the second question, display the title of the system. The title should be the school mess management program. So the first thing under the function that we are going to do is write the title. So title, we're going to use the print, and since it's a title, let's decorate with some asterisk. So the title goes school mess management management program. So we'll also end with the 2 asterisk. So double comma close and close the bracket. With that we're done with the first question. Second question, prompt the user to enter the quantity of 4 mess items. So we'll have to tell the user to enter the quantity of rice, pulse, meat and potato. So in order to do that, let's create a variable called RIC for rice, and we'll tell, and since this is quantity, it can be in the form of decimal, so we'll get a decimal input from the user, and we'll tell the user to enter the quantity of rice. We'll tell user to enter the quantity of rice. Now next one is pulse. So pulse, in a short form we're going to write it as PULS, pulse. So here again we will use the float input, and we'll tell the user to enter the quantity of pulses. Double comma, we'll close the 2 brackets which we have opened. The next one is going to be meat. So for meat, let's keep it as me. Then here also we're going to use a float input, and we're going to tell the user to enter the quantity of meat. Then lastly we have potato, so we write it as pota. We will also accept the float, the decimal input in potato also, and we tell the user to enter the quantity of potato colon, keep on space, close 2 bracket. So with that we are done prompting the user to enter the quantity of 4 mess items. Next one is, now we'll have to store the quantity of items entered by the user in Python, and we have to use the list called a list mess quantity. So here whatever we have received here, rice, pulse, meat, potato, we have to store in a list. So we'll use a variable this time, as it is here. The variable will be list mess underscore quantity. So here whatever we have received up there as I input rice, comma, puls, pulse, meat and pota. So this list we have assigned to a list mess quantity. With that we are done with question number 3 also. Now let's go to question number 4. In question number 4 we are asked to check whether there is enough rice or not based on the following condition. So condition is the quantity of rice is more than or equal to 1200 kg. Display the message you have enough rice. If not, if the rice is less than 1200 kg, we have to prompt the user to enter the new quantity of rice, and we have to update the existing quantity in the list mass quantity, the list mass quantity which we have made created here. So we'll have to tell the user to update, and after we have updated we have to print the list items. So first thing is we have to check if the rice quantity is more than 1200 kg. So for that we have to say if list mass quantity, and since the rice is in the index 0, the index starts with 0, 1, 2 and so on. So since rice is index 0, we'll have to mention the list here, which list mass quantity and the index 0. If this is greater than or equals to 1200, so we'll have to print as it is. We'll have to print you have enough rice, you have enough rice. But if not so, else, in the else part we'll have to tell you have less rice. So after that we'll have to update. So here we'll say I will tell rice quantity is less, rice quantity is less, please update. So in the update, what we'll do is we will use a new variable called new rice, and here we are going to tell the user to get a input, and we are going to tell the user to enter a new rice quantity. Enter new rice quantity. So after the user enters that new rice quantity, we are going to update the rice. So since the rice is in mess list underscore quantity in index 0, we are going to update with a new rice which we got it from user here. So with that we are done with question number 4. Now next is question number 5. So we'll write the question number 5 in next page, but let's read the question here. The cost of each item is as follows. Now for rice the cost is 40, for pulse the cost is 50, for meat the cost is 250, for potato the cost is 30. So here we simply has to write the cost here, and this cost we'll have to write in the same margin as else. So here it is somewhere here, so we'll tell the cost. We're going to say the cost equals to 40, 50, 250 and 30 as it is. And then next one, after that we have to calculate and print out the total expenditure incurred in purchasing all the items. So here they have also given how to calculate the total expenditure. Hint here. Hint is in order to find total expenditure is quantity which we have received here. If you remember the quantity of rice, pulse, and we have the quantity times the cost, which is mentioned here. So in order to do that, we'll need to first declare the total expenditure. We'll have to tell total expenditure. When you begin, we'll begin with 0. So after that, since there is many items inside the list, so it's better for us to use the for loop in order to loop inside the list. So we'll take a variable quantity qty for quantity and price for the cost. And for quantity and price, instead of range, here we are going to use a new function called zip, since we have to zip two lists here. What are the list? The two lists are list mess quantity, the list mess quantity, which is here, and another list here is cost. So cost. So with that, we're going to now update the total expenditure. So total expenditure inside the for loop is going to be total expenditure plus equals to quantity, which is here, which is going to loop inside the quantity list mess quantity, times the price, which is the cost, and the price, which is going to loop inside the cost. So we'll have to say price. So with that, we are done calculating the total expenditure. But here in the total expenditure, we are also asked to print. So the printing will be done outside the folder. So here we can say print. Let's enter a new line here. Backward slash n is to go to new line. We'll say total expenditure. Total expenditure is, let's say total expenditure is colon, close bracket, close inverted comma, and let's call the total expenditure here. So with that, we are done printing the total expenditure also. Now let's go to last final question. The final question is to check whether there is enough budget or not on the condition below. If the total expenditure is 50,000 and below, then you have enough budget. Otherwise, you have to print the message you don't have enough budget. So here we have to go with if and else. So here we'll have to see if the total expenditure, if it is less than or equals to 50,000, the total expenditure after calculating here, if it is less than if it is total expenditure is 50,000 or below, then we have to print you have enough budget. So you simply have to go and print the message you have enough budget. You have enough budget. Else, if not, we have to say you don't have enough budget. You don't have enough budget. So with that, we are done with the question. But since this was a function, we have just created a function. So in order for our program to run, we have to call the function. So the calling of the function should be done outside the function. So we will write in the first indentation or first margin. So name of the function is mesh system. So we'll call the function as it is, mesh system. So with that, we are done with the question number 7. Thank you.